Hello, man. This is Chris with the Age of Reason. And tonight, or this morning, whatever time it is when you receive this transmission in your part of the globe or part of the plane, however you choose to perceive this reality, it's all up to you. We will be taking an examination of this big, spooky, race-baiting crime story that comes from the news, but could have just come from Hollywood all the same. And what's the difference between the news and Hollywood? That's what I have to ask you. What's the difference? In the 1990s, I remember having internalized wonders about seeing NASA and CNN in movies for Hollywood. And way back then, I started to ask, how are you going to know when it's real news and when it's just something in a Hollywood movie? Because they're lending their logo to fantasy from Hollywood. So, let's go ahead and start talking here. And I'll try to speed it up, too, on my end. Because I don't want to be at this all night. This is the second time I had to do this. The first time I recorded this, the sound did not record. So, you can imagine how enthused I was. So, let's go ahead and break down the headline first. Well, let's read the headline. We're not breaking that down. Death row inmate executed after stay was vacated. This comes from WAAY, way TV 31 News, way out there in Alabama. So, at 9:01 p.m., Alabama executed Nathaniel Woods, a death row inmate convicted in the murders of how many? 3 Birmingham police officers. So, right off the jump, you don't even need to watch this story. You don't even need to watch it or listen to it. Right off the jump, we have Woods for the 00 code. And for you numbers guys and gals out there, we have 9 and we have 3. Okay? 3 officers, number 9:01 a.m. p.m. Prime Meridian. p.m. So off the jump, if you know anything about these codes yet, you can instantly see that this is a media fabrication. There's nothing true to it at all. But they keep doing this, and they're going to keep doing this because this is how they keep people divided and split up. Because when people are divided and split up, there is no unity and no singularity and no strength. And that's how they need this. They control this world with the media and the money, their banks too. Those are the 2 main things that they need. They need control of the media, and they need control of the bank. After that, they don't need war or anything else. They can keep everybody paranoid and terrified and locked in their homes all day long. No one's ever going to have to fire a single shot. There doesn't need to be a war in a Cold War. Huh? Perestroika and Glasnost, the Cold War. Okay. Gorbachev had said, "Fear not, comrades. The changing of the face of communism means nothing. And one day the Americans will have communism, and we will have never to have fired a shot." And look at where we are. Look at where we are. What's the difference in communism and capitalism? there is no difference. Let's keep going. That's all material for another show. All right. I get off on these little tangents because there's just so much about this, everything that I've studied over the years that I've never released outside of just writing here and there on Facebook. Let's keep going, guys. All right. So, Nathaniel Woods, 3 police officers, okay? Bam, bullshit, boom, however you want to say it. Let's go.
Will Robinson Smith is live outside the federal courthouse in Decatur. He was with Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall tonight while the Supreme Court was making its decision to ultimately move forward with that execution. Well, what did he have to say about tonight's developments?
Well, the Alabama Attorney...
Oh, look at this gay-ass motherfucker right here. What's his name? Will Robinson. There's your son code. Will Robinson Smith. Now, what's up with that name? Why would he have Robinson Smith as a hyphenated name? And what is this other Hollywood link we could put together with this bullshit name? Will Robinson. What was Will Robinson? That was Lost in Space, wasn't it? Danger Will Robinson. And wasn't the family that was stranded Smiths, or wasn't there a Mr. Smith, the old man Mr. Smith on the show? It doesn't matter, okay? I mean, it might to some of you. The point is, though, this queer-ass motherfucker right here is 100% working for the masters of this world, Hollywood. Of course, the banks are also the masters. Whole different part, same thing, though, at the same time, all right? He's working for them. This is a story. Let's go. There's your son code. So now we have double O code in Woods, and we have son code in Will Robinson Smith. And again, I ask, what's his real last name? Why is it hyphenated? Is he married? Is he a married man who hyphenated his name? That doesn't make much sense. Bullshit. Bullshit. Listen to this fruity fucker.
General Steve Marshall said that he fully expected tonight's execution to move forward as it did at...
And by the way, did you guys catch the other code? Steve Marshall. Steve Marshall. So we have our son code, we have our Mar code, and we have the double O code. And for you numbers, guys, again, we have the 3 code and 9 code.
I know one, despite the fact that the Supreme Court put that temporary stay...
Shut your
rest
gay
church
ass
safety
up.
down in Somerville. Marshall said his remarks at that event would be brief so that he would continue to be...
And Morgan County, and there's Marshall, and there's the star, the deceptive star that he works for, his owners, the owners of this world. The owners of this reality, this version of reality. He's working for them. No, he was not just elected to his position. He's been in this shit his whole life, one way or another. Just like everybody. Just like all the presidents that you can directly link back to each other. Just like all the actors in Hollywood that you can directly link to each other. It's more than you've ever thought. It's a grander, more complicated, and precise system that they've created than you've ever thought.
To oversee the process of making sure or so, he issued a statement describing the execution as, quote, justice.
Tonight, justice has been served.
All right, did you guys get that? Now you're all triggered out there because they had this so-called honky up here in Alabama smiling with his white shirt and everything else, telling you how it was justice when a black man who didn't do anything somehow in this crime was executed, okay? There's your triggers, okay? There's your triggers. Trig on. There's your triggers, okay? Are you triggered? Everybody? Are you triggered? You believe in this shit? You believe in this bullshit?
Nathaniel Woods, one of 2 cop killers in the bloodiest day in Birmingham Police Department.
Bloodiest day in Birmingham Police Department history. Bloodiest day, blah, blah, blah. Sunday, Bloody Sunday, right? Boo-hoo. We're not going to do a show right now about the moral principles and ethics of cops and whatever. We're not going to go there right now. We don't need to. He's going to tell you that this was the bloodiest day when a black man, so-called, okay? I need to keep reminding everyone, this is not real. This is the story, but he's sticking to the story. He's sticking to the script to keep you all triggered. A black man killed 3 police officers in Alabama, okay? And this guy who they killed allegedly didn't do it, I guess. I don't know anything about the story, but the comments all say otherwise. And supposedly there's a handwritten confession letter from the other party involved who said, he didn't do it, I did it all, just kill me. Okay? So, we have a wrongful death case here. Everyone's losing their shit. I know you're losing your shit. I know your brother's losing his shit. I know your cousin's losing his shit. I know your sister and your girlfriend have definitely lost their shit. Because they lose their shit over nothing. Let's go.
History has met his just fate.
Now, over the last several days, this case has received national attention with advocacy groups like the Equal Justice Initiative and
Equal Justice Initiative.
Martin Luther King III calling for a stay in the
Martin Luther King III. Okay, so Martin Luther King is a character, and they keep on going with it, I guess. Or maybe it's an entity, corporate. Either way, it's corporate entity. Equal justice. Okay, there's no such thing as equality. The only thing that's equal is that we are all blind, dumb, and lost in a sea of madness, lies, and confusion. We are all equally fucked. All equally fucked, okay? And the way they keep playing these games on us is how they've held this system so strongly forever and ever. It's been like this throughout the eons of history, I'm damn sure. You didn't need the internet or the TV to blindly brainwash people the way that they have. There's always been a way, all right? And it's just a continuance. There's nothing new under the sun. So justice was served. Nathaniel Woods, 00 code, who was involved in a shooting, killing, allegedly, of so-called cops, 3 so-called cops, okay? Bullshit. The whole thing's lies. It's a race-baiting switch, a race-baiting game. Oh. I just told you on my last video. It doesn't matter what triggers you. If it's a drag queen or a racist or anything like that, there's going to be these codes involved. I just said that on my previous video.
They said there were issues with the appeals process since Woods' attorney dropped him as a client and didn't inform Woods. Now, Woods also argued in a court filing that he missed a crucial deadline because his attorney dropped him as a client. Supporters also point to a confession letter from Woods' convicted accomplice saying that the accomplice alone had killed.
And then they go ahead and they give you all this video footage. You're wondering what the hell is going on, and you're trying to listen to the fucking faggot talking. So you don't know what the hell is even going on. Like, what was that footage of, like, these cops running around and stuff? What are they showing us? What is this footage? Is this supposed to be footage of the date when this story was wrote? When his story was wrote? Because his story, is always to be believed. Then that's all this is. All these things, they're just okay. None of these characters ever existed. This man who supposedly took the needle, he did not exist. There's no grave for him. Okay, the cops who supposedly died, there's no graves for them. This is just stuff to put in their history books because they keep teaching this stuff to people to keep them in line. They lie to people to keep them in line. History is his story. What's my story? Mystery. Do you see how they've done that? They just confuse one letter. Should just be my story. It's mystery. My story is a mystery. Mystery is something that's confused. It's a confusion. So they've confused the letters on this. His story, history, my story, mystery. All these characters are nothing more than characters in history books. That's it.
The police officers, Marshall told me tonight that how people...
Shut your faggot ass up.
Think as a result of the fact that
Okay, Attorney General Steve Marshall. There's your MAR code. We've already talked about him. We don't need to listen to the story, okay? We don't even need to listen. All we got to do is grab these key components. That's all you need. You know, if you guys out there like to play video games, old role-playing games and stuff, or even Doom, run around and find the keys. That's all you got to do. You just got to find the keys to unlock the doors, and then you go further. You know, okay, you found the key components, and you can identify that something's bullshit. And when something's bullshit, you turn it off. You be done with it.
Nathaniel Woods was not the shooter, which was not anything that was alleged at trial.
Okay, Nathaniel Woods was not the shooter. Of course, it was not alleged at trial. I don't know.
But instead had accomplice liability, which is a fundamental principle of criminal law. It somehow
Accomplice liability.
that's been an objection I've found.
And so here's another thing that these stories do. These stories are good for some of the biggest con job bullshitters, lawyers and legislators, okay, because they will follow this stuff and they'll go ahead and they'll look over and they'll say, well, I suppose there was a crucial stipulation involved where, yes, if he was just someone who was in the car at the time, he could be an accomplice by this statute and this statute and this statute, even though he did nothing wrong. Because it's all convoluted bullshit. Law is all convoluted bullshit. Law is completely convoluted bullshit, all right? And, you know, that's how they have you. It's lies. All this shit. You live in a fictitious reality. From the time that you came out of your mother, maybe in the time of your father, the time you came out of dad, then came out of mom, you have had no idea what reality is. You have had no idea how to find God. You've had no idea to find anything that matters because you are already in hell. That's it. There is no God in this hell on earth.
Found very difficult to process as a prosecutor.
Now, according to the Alabama, Nathaniel Woods, as we mentioned, was pronounced dead at 9:01. The Department of Corrections also said he had no final words. Reporting live.
No final words, you know, a man who's wrongly convicted to death, and he has nothing to say on his way out the door as he shuffles off this fucking mortal coil. He has no words to say. Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here, man. How do they come up with this bullshit? And why do people still believe it? Why? Again, you have to remember, like, okay, you have to empathize a little bit. But why? We don't even need to hear this story anymore. Let's just go ahead and look at some of the triggered comments, you know. Let's go. The trigger man is still in jail while this guy is executed. Shouldn't that be the other way around? This must be the Deep South justice. Of course, because Deep South is just a bunch of sister fucking honkies that just blatantly, outright, brutally racist. And that's just how it's always been. And yeah, that's right, of course. This is Deep South justice. Yeah, Yeah, you still believe those stories. Okay, all right. Clearly, you've never lived in the South. Clearly. I have at least lived in New Orleans for a time in my life. I've been to different parts of this country, a few. Not a lot, but a few in my 20s. You know, and that's the thing. If you have no experience, then you have no context of anything you're talking about. So in other words, this idiot here should just shut the fuck up. But he's not gonna, because he thinks he's king shit. So fuck you, king shit. Anyone that takes pleasure in this is sick. All right. Okay. Yeah, that would, I could agree with that, but it didn't happen. So we must take pleasure in reminding people that it's all a fucking lie and that they should stop fucking believing this shit. Bloodiest day in history, huh? In Alabama history, Jim Crow history, American history. There really nothing more you all can say. Nothing more that can be said at this point. Nothing more you should say. Yes, of course, because we live in this evil, racist society full of black bloodshed at the hands of the honky, I guess. You know, that's what they want you to believe. That's what they want you to believe. You make the decision, okay? I don't care. This to me has the race spin is all. That's all it always is. It's a fucking spin, because if they keep black man and white man divided, and all man, you know, yellow man, red man, every one of them divided, then there can be no unity, and there can be no singularity, and there can be no stopping the fucking shit that runs this world, okay? So it's imperative that they keep everybody divided at the lowest common way, lowest common denominator, which I've talked about before. Race bait. There you go. Now, justice still has a color in Alabama. This made me so sick. I'm ashamed at the state of Alabama. I'm from Birmingham, but will no longer claim it. Okay. Why would you ever be proud to live in a fictional society, fictional reality anyways? Okay? You can be as ashamed all you want. There's no sense in being ashamed because this story didn't happen. Feel shamed that you at one time believed the lies. You don't have to feel ashamed about that, actually, because we all did. No one wakes up no one's born knowing this shit. It's honestly sad when a man gets the needle because of their friend's actions. Then the friend tells the prosecutors that he acted all alone, gets his justice, and the guy gets dragged along with it. Yeah, right, all right, Triple B, bye, because you still believe in the lie. Of course it would be sad if it's real, but it's not real. It's not real. It's a big fucking scam. It's a lie. It's a lie. You're lied to every moment of your day. I hope the governor gets the coronavirus. No, better yet, I hope he gets Ebola, okay? Again, here's somebody who is completely tuned in still to the official story narrative. Still tuned into it, okay? And so they're going to go on with coronavirus and Ebola, both of which have the O code sounds, which is bullshit, every day that you wake up, you're just bombarded with these media stories, these lies, and people don't know what to believe. They just believe as a reflex because they don't know how to think anymore. And a lot of people feel as though they know how to think, but they don't. They don't. And how would you? When is the last time you even had a minute to think? When is the last time? You haven't. From the time that you were born. You had to keep on putting shit into your senses and not just be alone in your thoughts for a moment. You know? And that's the sad part of this confused reality. And that also should show that we probably do live in hell on Earth. Whether this is a round planet or a flat plane with a big bowl over top of it, no one gets out of this mofo alive. No way. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I know I lost some thoughts from my first attempt at this, and I'm kind of annoyed at that, but whatever. I just wanted to bring this up to you guys. All these codes, this was just another story. It's using racism, race, to bait everyone. It's baiting white guilt, and it's baiting pro-white too. You know, both sides of it. And then black guilt and pro-black. It's baiting all sides of this. All right? It's not real. That's the hardest thing to learn. Find out what's real. I don't know everything that's real yet. Here's what I know is real. What happens here at home, that's real. Raising my daughter and taking care of my family, that's real. All this bullshit that they give you, this is not real. This is real fake. Real lies, all right? All right, thanks for listening, guys. Like always, this is Chris with The Age of Reason. And I remind you, I implore you to pay attention. Keep both eyes, all three eyes, that's your mind. Keep your mind open and pay attention. You need to keep an open mind. Don't get triggered anymore. This is year 2020, the year of the great vision, so-called, right? All right, make your personal vision clarity. See through the lies. I'll catch you guys next time. Good night.